feature, it's not the whole application.
This shows the IT department of India. So we've come up with an app where you can have 3 possible users of the app. One is us, the normal taxpayers, individuals, and you can log in as an organization, or you can log in as the tax commissioner, or CMO, right? So this is the screen that would come when you log in as a taxpayer. You have multiple options. You can see your profile as well. Some of the options are, right, so we were thinking of having benefits being accrued based on how much of tax you have paid, right? So for example, you can, if you have bought some medicines at a medicine shop, right? You snap a bill, it saves it here, and then at the end of the year you can just see how much ATC, medical allowance, 15,000, whatever it is, it'll show you that. Second type of benefits, so we were thinking of providing incentives for you to pay tax. So if you pay tax on time, then you will get so much % discount on tax, etc., etc. So you will basically, when you click that button, you will see a list of all the benefits, right? So we have kind of, so the other things is you can see your tax details, you can file your tax returns at the click of a button if you're a salaried employee, and you can report a problem. So we have kind of detailed out 2 of them. One is something that we'd like to call KYSP, which is know your service provider. So just like they have information about know your customers, we would like to know our service providers. So if you enter, say, a service provider, in this case I'm entering, for example, I'm entering Vodafone. I know I'm being videographed, but it's okay. You enter Vodafone, internally the tax department would have collected enough information about the organization to be able to say what is the organization's compliance score with respect to tax. So Vodafone would probably score a 7.2 out of 10, maybe 2 stars out of 5 or whatever it is, and it'll give you details of that organization, a TIN number, etc., so you can check what you want to do, right? The other thing we'd like to detail is something like a report a problem, right? So nowadays we have so many instances where you go to an ice cream shop and it says if this fellow doesn't give you a bill, then call this number and you get 500 off on your bill or whatever it is, right? So something like that. So you can report a problem that you're facing at any place. So someone doesn't give you a bill, or you see some tax violations that are happening at some place, you can report it, and you will be incentivized for reporting it. Plus the tax department also gains by catching the person who's defaulting, right? So that sort of a thing. The other login would be something like the tax commissioner. He wants a dashboard. He wants to be able to see reports. So he wants to be able to see the number of SSCs who have more than 2 gas cylinders who are not paying tax. He will be in South India, so he will be able to pull such information and see dashboards and reports.
Price schools, but then we are all ethical in the frame of the laws. So it's National Public School. It's about the school management or the CMO being able to see at a click of a button information about the student, related information about the parents, like demographic information, their influences, friend circle, etc. And so if they were, for example, this is the home page. We have menu options here which really talks about other data that is needed. But we have key events of the school. So even if it is an annual day or a family day and all of that, those information comes in. We have a referral program in the school, so if there is a kid already studying in the school, they can bring in people from the friend circle into the school basis, word of mouth publicity. We have a scholarship program, so that is an option where we get the details about the scholarship, again merging data from the social as well as the student already studying. We have transfer, so this is a national level school, so we have information about transfers. We're also taking data from LinkedIn about how is the job nature been of the parents, has it been a transferable job, and things like that. What we have as a feature here is for the management to really click on a student or understand more information about the student. It has information like any dues from the student that is coming up and things like that, library dues, all of that. So that's what we've designed, and then here is where the page is where they get more information about a particular student and the parents' information. Anything I'm missing? Okay.
Thank you.
Excellent seeds for the next generation to be a startup. Okay, thanks a lot.
Okay.
He enjoyed his workshop, and so we'll have a small quick tea coffee break, after which we'll assemble here at 4:45 for the last session. The last session will be taken by Mr. Sameer Chavan. He is the lead human factors engineering at Intel, and he'll be speaking on the topic wearable user experience design. Thank you. So 4:40.
But it's just to give you some idea about it, the people are coming from there. We'll come inside. We'll stand. Okay. So, the intention of the Designathon is really just to walk through a whole process from idea to product over the day. We'll walk through some different techniques around ideation and closing down on a product idea and sketching prototypes and going through that kind of thing. Actually, quite similar to what some of you did in the workshop in this room just a minute ago. So we're going to spend a whole day doing what you did in an hour and a half and maybe drill into things a little bit more deeply. The topic we're going to focus on is smart cities, but what we've decided to do is narrow that down a bit and focus on traffic and transportation. So it's a bit more of a focused topic, but there's still a lot of room within that to think about how you want to take that as a direction. So there are the finalists who are in the kind of in the official competition, but everyone else will be taking part in the same activity. So this isn't about, as some of the previous kind of Unicom contests have been, where there's the panelists and then everyone else is in the audience. Everyone will be taking part. So it's an educational day. And so the idea is to really come in, work with a team. You'll sit at a table with a team. And so one thing you might want to do today, just in chatting with people, is see if other people have similar interests around that topic, and you can kind of group into those teams. Obviously, the teams that are in the competition are already formed, but for the rest of you, you can kind of pick and choose the people you want to work with. Maybe get a mix of other people with different backgrounds to pull together. And the intention will be to go from defining a problem and working through the design of that around taking on a challenge from within the traffic and transportation aspect of smart cities. So we'll spend a little bit of time talking about smart cities, a bit of time talking about traffic and transportation, and then dive into it. Right. And towards the end, you will have to develop a prototype.
Yeah, so again, everything's going to be half the time you need to do it. It's going to be super compressed and super, and fun, but super, tight, intense, which is a good thing. And we also spend a bit of time, as I talked about in the session this morning about storytelling, we spend a bit of time on presentation. So it's not just creating it, but it's also how do we communicate the value of this. And again, a very brief presentation, but you'll do that as a team as well.
So where are we doing this Designathon? Perfect. Please do not come here. It's at Lee Meridian. I'm so happy. They were just solving half of our problem. So we are thinking how will we transport? It's a transportation kind of project. You should not start from Hayat to Lee Meridian.
I remember reading that probably in the laptop.
Bring your laptop. To get ideas.
Yeah, I mean, it
It
will help you if you have if at least one person in your team has a connection, even a phone they can get and look things up. It may help.
It's
you
not
with ideas.
mandatory.
It's absolutely not mandatory.
It's good to have.
Everything we do, you can do a prototype on the computer if you want to, or use anything else that you want to do. There's no set approach to that, but we're set up to do paper prototypes. So it's absolutely fine if everyone sketches, and we'll even talk a little bit about some things you can do with paper prototypes to make them a bit more engaging. So yeah, you don't need anything but your brain, so don't leave that at home, and do some research on the way home and the way in. You have one opportunity, because we're going to be in the room the whole time, but your field research begins on the commute home and the ride in tomorrow. Think about the context of traffic and transportation, what that means in terms of smart cities, environment, social, challenges, what it means for the economy, and start thinking about how, where you want to focus and think about. And we'll talk some more about that in the morning.
It's a very serious workshop. So what we do for every event that we run is that we honor the practitioners. Like we identify India's most
knowledgeable practitioners. Whether we do big data contest, so we identify India's most knowledgeable big data, and we do a corporate contest. It's a huge splash. Thousands of practitioners give the contest, which is round one, which is online. And from there we select the top 1%. We list that on the website saying that these are India's top practitioners, okay, in this field. So yes, tomorrow you will see, I mean today also you saw, the top 50 UX UI designers. The others who have come there to learn, we will identify the winning team. They will directly qualify to next year's final. So you will be competing to qualify for the next year's final if you didn't participate in the round one. And others, we have selected the 3 teams. They are from different companies like IBM, Oracle, Persistent Technologies, Science Solutions. Sorry if I don't tell every company's name, but those companies, some of the best designers will be there, and they will be doing the same thing what you guys will be doing. And the voting and everything will be happening. The more detail you will get to know tomorrow. And from those 3 teams, we'll identify the winner. Each winner will get a gold medal and a gold certificate. Of course, it's a gold plated, gold plated, green plate, and the first runner-up will get a silver medal and a silver certificate. Identifying them as the top 5 UX designers of India. And the second will be the 6th to 10th. And those who win from the non-competition category, they will qualify for the next year's final. Makes sense? Sounds good, the competition. Now how do we intend to compete? Okay?
So as I say, the competition teams are already formed. So the rest of the group, it's really going to be quite organic. So I will leave it up to you. We're going to be set up in tables a bit like this, I think, in the room. So where you sit will be your team. And so if you want to, if there are people you want to work with and you want to work that way, that's great. We can do a little bit of shuffling tomorrow. And I think, the more we can find out about people's interests, there'll be a little bit of time to shuffle tomorrow if we find out that, hey, that team's actually doing the thing that I really want to be doing, and this team is interested in something else. We can be flexible around that for the first, as we get into the initial problem session. Once we've done that, then we want to stay fixed and work with that team all the way through.
The team of 5 people.
Yeah. So if you've already got 5 people that you want to work with, then when you come in tomorrow, group together, and we'll work that way. If you want to throw yourself in with a lot, meet some new people, try something different, find a table that looks interesting and join them.
And if you like any of the speakers, ask them to join you, talk to them to register, and join you as you know, and help you make really win the
Yes. That's a very good question, and I'll be interested to see how you answer it tomorrow. So that's exactly. No, so the intention is to produce an initial prototype, a paper prototype, a storyboard screen kind of walkthrough of what your application would be, and I'll talk about that a bit as well. It's not necessarily a mobile app or a web application. It can be something wearable. It can be whatever. But we want to do, and I'll give the more detailed brief tomorrow. But we want to do something that's about making cities more human. So it's about smart cities, but it's not about forcing technology on people. It's about how can we use existing technologies, existing data to do something innovative that helps people have a more kind of human life in the city. And again, traffic can be a very dehumanizing experience. It is a very broad topic, and actually one of the things we'll be working on probably the first half of the day, almost up till lunchtime, will be on narrowing down, defining the problem, as we talked about today, if you can find the problem and focus on that, the solution comes much easier. So we'll spend some time narrowing down, broadening out ideation around that idea, that problem, then focusing in again on what you actually want to work on, storyboarding that out, and how you present it. And one of the questions may be specifically how you apply this, what's different about different cities. But I think that'll be one of the challenges. Do you want to target something very specific and very local? Do you want to take something that's broader and potentially applicable across, not just India, but potentially the world? How do you want to approach this? And I think that's some of the useful discussions that I think come out of the exercise tomorrow. So the challenge you raise is a perfect challenge to confront within the session. Yeah. Okay? I don't want to take too much of the...
Ted, right? Yeah, nice to know about this topic actually. In fact, I would like to solve the problem at Marthali Bridge, which is a big problem. Is anybody from that side, Whitefield? I'm seeing for the last 4 years this traffic police has been trying all permutations, combinations, and they are not able to find out like how 6 ways are going to converge at one place. And I think in design it's a chaos which goes on the line. It's organized chaos. If you make an organized thing out of the chaos, then it might clash with each other. Yeah, we have very unique needs in India, right? It's not like global.
Rain, it was taking 1 hour a kilometer.
And then we communicate with each other when we drive, like we shout and yell, and then we compliment. Everything is smart. Only humans are not smart yet. At least in India, no?
Tips for tomorrow's Designathon. So we'll move on to the next and the final presentation for today. So Mr. Sameer Chavan, he's lead human factors engineering at Intel, and he'll be presenting on wearable user experience design. So Mr. Sameer.
All right, thanks. So first of all, how many one of you are wearing any kind of wearables? What kind of wearables here? Oh, that's good, really good. So there are some technology early adopters here. I've seen a lot of people having at least fitness bands, to just track your calories and steps and all those things. And now we are having more smart wearables, which are like smartwatch. Goggles is still, the glass is yet to come into market like that. So if anyone has seen other smartwatches anywhere, experienced it? I'm wearing 2 of them at least. One is the Samsung, the first prototypes, the first ones, Samsung Gear 1, and this is the latest from the Pebble Steel. Okay, and there are many. You have one? Oh, that's really good. Yeah, I think it's evolving nowadays on a smartwatch. You know, and we'll talk about that. I know when the mobile came into the market, when we shifted from a wired telephone into a wireless telephone, it was a different experience for everyone, and it's a different social experience. You are carrying a phone with you, you are walking everywhere, and it's no longer at your home, and then somebody is disturbing you on the fly without even asking what you're doing. It just starts talking to you. I don't know how many of you have seen the Apple's pre-launch advertisement. You haven't seen? Here, let me just show you. So it was a different experience. Already the phone was in the market, but they wanted to say that the experience from a wired in-home thing is coming out on the streets, and you can now access the phone on the go. On a similar lines, when the smartwatch was launched by Samsung, okay, first of all, again, I forgot to mention, okay, all my views are my personal views, okay? It does not represent my company, okay? There was a disclaimer on the first screen. And I am not marketing any of these companies. I am not talking about any of this. It's my personal view, okay? So when the Samsung brought the Gear 1, they had a similar advertisement. Here you can see that now.
Yes. What kind is it? 829. Thank you. Sorry. This is 86 reporting under control. How's it going? I have an emergency situation.
Relay the information to headquarters.
Interesting. Order search computer library records.
Jason, can you read me?
I read you.
This is Secret Agent Rock Slash.
Let's make a little small floors. Anything particular in mind? There's only one man who can get us out of here in time. I'll be down right away. I'm on my way.
We're on our way.
I'm on my way. We're on our way.
On my way.
So it's a similar line, right? So nobody thought at that time, like, really somebody couldn't speak on a phone. And you can now speak on a phone, on a smartwatch, connected to the phone. It was all imagination, it's becoming into reality. It's no longer a fiction, it's coming into reality. So slowly we are moving through different imaginations which we thought, and they converted into reality nowadays. Right. So just let's look at wearables. What is it actually? So it's a body worn, rich with a lot of sensors in this. It's portable because of the time it's complex. So this is a Dick Tracy. That was a comic serial where he had the smartwatch with a phone and he would talk to people, and it was a joke that time. It's reality now. And then the virtual reality things. There are a lot of products in the market which are showing the virtual reality. Even the Samsung has the Samsung virtual reality which connect to the Galaxy Note 4 and all those things. So it's coming up. Where can be the wearables? So most of the time, whenever we think of wearables, we think, okay, it's maybe just watch or maybe it's just a glass, Google Glass. We have seen it many times. And these are all places you can wear wearables. Because it can be worn. So it's in your hat, it's in your bag, in glass, shirts, shoes. Shoes wearables, the Nike Plus is, I think, quite old, which connects to your iPod and tracks you when you run. It's already wearable there. Wristbands, a lot of the fitness companies have their heart meters, and now you can tie it to your chest and you can take your measure your pulse and heart and calorie. So it's there everywhere now. Right? Any other thing missing? You think like it should be there? It's all. There are a lot of fashion shows. When I was trying to put this all together, I was looking at all the data of all wearables, and I could see many shirts and the fabrics which are wearables which can change colors. We already have this sari, dupchal sari, it will automatically change the color depending on the light at least. It was non-technology, but it was still wearable and it can adapt to the colors.